I'm Anna.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joseph. We are on a journey to solve a religious conflict between Judaism and Islam.
Topic of this interview?
Arab-Israeli conflict.
Oh Lord, okay. I studied the Arabic language and some of the motivations and struggles that Arab countries have in their own world. The conflict isn't going to be resolved until both sides are willing to make even more painful sacrifices than are being made now.
Next we travel to the 7500s. Yay!
What was that? Okay.
Do you have any knowledge with the Arab and Palestinian Authority, with Israeli Authority?
Conflict.
I have limited knowledge, but I know some. Well, I just learned about the formative stages of Israel, basic Zionism, Theodore Herzl, the first unit of Miss Harris's class, but beyond that, my knowledge is pretty limited, and I'm looking forward to learning more with her.
Do you think that having a state for Palestinians would be helpful?
I definitely think Palestinians deserve some land. I believe that a two-state solution is necessary to accommodate both types of people who want to live in the land. I don't think pushing one group of people out of Israel completely is the right way to go about things.
What's your guys' background knowledge on the Arab-Israeli conflict?
I think that we experience it. It's the best knowledge that we can tell about. That's the main argument about Israel at the time, that every day was a terror attack in Israel. So you could go to the mall and not come back from the mall. So yeah, it was that's how that's how we grew up.
You grew up like
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
I think that have a solution, but it take times. It take a long time.
I'm sure that one day it will be we'll find a solution.
Do you guys think that the Palestinians having their own land would be helpful?
I think so.
Next, we're traveling into the little table. But first, we gotta show you a clip of Mr. Shireman eating yogurt. Hey! And here's Anna.
Wow! Yeah. How it's affected everyone that's involved.
There's certainly been a lot of bloodshed. In some ways, I don't know if this answers the question that you're asking, but in any case, I think what we want, what most people want, is just peace. To have peace, and sometimes solving something means that people have to come together, they have to understand each other, they have to understand that each side has certain priorities. So unfortunately, conflicts like this are sometimes not helped, or they're made worse by politicians. And while you might have people and you might have individuals or groups of individuals that are interested in peace, sometimes politicians take certain positions on either side.
While we wait for a nice young man to come in, this is a word from our sponsors. Do you have trouble eating Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yes.
No.
Emily, do you have problem eating Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yes.
Do you guys have trouble eating Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yes.
Hey Shadows, do you guys have trouble eating Reese's peanut butter cups?
No.
Say yes. Just say
yes.
Good job. See, everyone has trouble eating Reese's peanut butter cups. That's why you need to buy this new lens cap. It's perfect for eating Reese's peanut butter cups with. You can get 2 for the price of 2. Order now.
Now back to the planned programming. I'm Joseph. Yay!
What's the possible solution that you could think of in your
I'm sorry, dear.
Here,
You wanna
go,
come
move
over here?
closer, yeah.
I'm here on this side. Jews had no rights. For example, if an Arab and a Jew were walking on the sidewalk, the Jew had to step off the sidewalk and walk in the street, so he would be at a lower position, absolutely contrary to what we talk about as a religion. It's a total way of life, and obviously, if you are of a group that leads a different way of life, you're always going to have a difficulty. If it were simply a matter of an area, we're going to argue over this space or that space, it's a totality of different views of life and how you conduct yourself.
Morals.
So.
Different morals.
Yeah. Okay.
You can say that loud.
Hey! Okay, so far we've come to the conclusion that there really isn't a solution for peace because of the reluctance on the Palestinian side to come to the negotiation table. And I have to go.
Where do you think the Judaism-Islam conflict stems from?
Stems from not being a specific Jewish-Islamic conflict, but from being an Islam against other religion conflict. There are there are parts of the Quran, which is the Muslim religious book, which can be interpreted as saying that in order for their Messiah to come, the world needs to be cleansed of infidels. Infidel is often described as anyone who is not of Muslim belief. Against Jews, I believe Islam, many parts of it have an overall problem with any religion besides for Islam. They do not show tolerance.
What is your experience regarding this issue?
It's a very tough question because I've experienced both sides. I've experienced obviously being attacked and things by the Muslim religion and Islam. And I've also experienced meeting people who are Muslim or stand-up individuals who show you tons of respect and who speak to you like a normal person and show a lot of good intentions towards you. I can't say I'm at a point where I trust them 100%. Unfortunately, we have paranoia from these things. I've experienced both sides, and I'm not of the belief that all Muslims are evil and want to murder everybody else. It's a different question of whether because they don't speak up or they still held accountable. I don't know, but I don't believe that they are all terrible people.
No, I definitely think we should promote, like modern. I think those are the future for, creating peace, I think. So, definitely.
I think so as well, but I think there's a lot to be said for the fact that these things happen, and even though as a Muslim you're not physically committing acts of violence or terror, not condemning them and not saying there's something wrong with them is close to equally as terrible.
Totally agree. I mean, like a few years back, every now and then there'll be like an ultra-Orthodox Jew who stabbed a gay. First of all, it's not in the numbers of Islam that happen, those things, but I mean, everybody comes out and says that's disgusting, that's not what we believe, so definitely. How could this be solved in your opinion?
I'm going to say that I don't particularly have any idea how it can be solved, and I don't see a solution. I personally think that just like I am not going to back down, people are not going to take away this place from us and from our nation and from our country just because they're being bullies and violence, whatever. I have to believe that there are people with equal motivation, at least on the other side. So I personally don't know what the solution could be. I could lie to you and say, let's talk it out, let's try, let's discuss, but I personally don't believe that will come to a solution. It doesn't mean I'm against attempting, but it's very important that I'm a realist, and I don't think that will lead to a sustainable calm, to put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be hard to talk out with people who don't even want to be in the same room as you. Do you think anything has, helped, at least?
I don't think it's such an amazing thing if someone just puts a little Band-Aid on a wound that's just going to continue bleeding. So to say that this little thing made a difference, but it didn't solve the problem, I don't really think is productive. But nothing particular comes to mind. I mean, yes, let's say we've made different attempts at peace with giving up land and being promised it would lead to peace, and technically it didn't. But, there were also times where the Palestinians attempted to, maybe work with us security-wise a little bit more, and it also didn't bring to peace. Nothing particular comes to mind that I think made a drastic difference.
If there was one major dividing issue, like currently, what would it be? So.
Listen, I think there might be many, but one which is most evident to me because of where I live and what I see on a daily basis is the big issue is who's I live in Israel.
Okay.
In Israel, not in Palestine. It is called Israel. I stand by that.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay, so the major dividing issue, the one that sticks out to you the most is...
I believe the major one that sticks out most here in Israel is the issue of who does the land belong to. To me, the answer is very obvious, and to them it seems the answer is very obvious. The bad part is that there are two different answers.
And we have history to back it up, too.
I believe that is the basis for all of the issues that come along with it.
In general, what do you think people don't know about this issue?
I think what people don't know about this issue is there are many, many videos of, let's say, Palestinians being pushed around, being abused. There are many testimonies of them saying they have terrible treatment, that we are controlling them, and that they live under a siege or something along those lines. I believe it is definitely not the case. I will admit that, yes, there are many security checkpoints in and around their areas. And yes, I can also admit that maybe that hinders living a normal lifestyle. But unfortunately, based on the situation and the fact that terrorism comes out of these areas, people with weapons who go to shoot people, people with knives who like to stab people, people who decide to strap bombs to their bodies to blow up other human beings, come out of these areas. And it's unfortunate that in order to stop these things, there need to be checkpoints that are put up, and people who do want to live a normal, happy, everyday life need to have their lives hindered, unfortunately. But there is very much not a sense of an occupation. I think it's very clear that Israel has put in a lot of effort for peace, as well as giving up land. I believe it's very clear that Israel would be more than happy to live along with Palestinians and to give them benefits and to have them be full, complete citizens living in what they claim to be their natural land. But what we cannot compromise on, unfortunately, is security and of innocent people getting hurt. And I don't think any nation would be able to compromise on something like that. So I believe there's a very big idea, a misinterpreted idea in many parts of the world, that there is some type of a blockade going on here or some type of let's say, inhumane treatment. And I don't believe that to be true.
Okay. And also I believe there's a statistic that like 95% of all Palestinians that live in the West Bank, they want, they want Jews to die. They're radicals. So it's, I think people think like, oh, it's not that big of a majority. It is. Only 5% don't believe in those things. When there's a terrorist attack, they celebrate in the streets. Streets are named after them. So
I don't know this statistic that you are quoting specifically, but I do think there is something morally wrong with the death is celebrated.
Yes.
On our side, no matter who gets killed, no matter what, death is definitely not celebrated. And I really, really believe the conflict can be broken down to very, very simple words that I believe was said by Golda Meir, who was a prime minister of Israel, that there will be peace on the day when Palestinians love their children more than they hate us, where they want their children to have a nice future, and they put them as a priority. A lot of people say that if Palestinians put down their weapons, tomorrow there would be peace, but if Israel put down their weapons, tomorrow there wouldn't be an Israel. And unfortunately, I think that's a pretty good explanation of what it's like here.
Yeah. So, like...
I wish we didn't have to. I wish we didn't have to fight. I wish people didn't have to serve in the army. I wish there wasn't a need for it. But the reality of it is that right at this moment there is. and that's unfortunate, and hopefully one day things will change.
Okay, last question. Like, currently, I mean, the month, the week, the day, what is the status of this issue?
I'm sorry?
Currently, what is the status of the issue where you live?
The status of the issue where I live. Well, let's see. I live in Israel. I happen to live in the center of the country, so I do not have as much of a direct line, I guess, to the Palestinian people. They're not someone who I interact with on a daily basis, but unfortunately it is something always in my head that I don't like to walk around with headphones in my ears because I can't hear if someone's coming up behind me. I can't hear what's going on. When I get on a bus, I take a look at all the people and make sure they look okay. It's something that does not stop us from living, but is always in the back of our heads, and something we're always aware of. Israel is just getting over a big wave of terrorism that was happening over the past 8 months, with tons of people being stabbed on a daily basis, and thank God they didn't let, the country did not break from anything like that. But we live in a constant struggle, unfortunately, where every single day we're unsure of what the day will bring, or what the next conflict will be, or when the next attack will come. Thank God it doesn't really stop anyone from going about their daily lives, but I'm sure psychologists will probably tell you it's probably not the healthiest way to live.
I don't doubt it.
That is my day-to-day life.
Okay.